Hello everyone, we are doing chapter number 8 Confronting Marginalization. In the last chapter, we read about the various ways in which some individuals and groups are experiencing inequality and discrimination and are known as marginalized groups in the society. In this chapter, we will study how some of the individuals and groups are challenging the existing inequalities and the efforts made by the government and the laws passed to improve their conditions. Confronting marginalization. Confronting means challenging marginalization. There are some reason for this challenging marginalization, that is religious solace, that means religious comfort, armed struggle, self improvement, education, and economic uplift. Adivasis, Dalits, Muslims, women, and other marginal groups argue by that simply by being citizens of a democratic country, they possess equal rights that must be respected. That means marginal groups, they want that being a citizens of a democratic country, they must get the equal rights and that must be respected. And the marginalized often challenge existing inequalities and they look up to the constitution to address their concerns. Invoking fundamental rights. Fundamental rights available to all citizens equally, and marginalized have drawn the right. That means, as the fundamental rights are given to all the people equally, including marginal groups, marginal communities have drawn these rights in two ways. First is insisting on their fundamental rights, they have forced the government to recognize the injustice done to them. And second is the government enforce these laws. That means the first of all, the government recognize the injustice which are done to them, and secondly, the government enforce the laws. So in some cases, the struggles of the marginalized have influenced the government to frame new laws that uphold the spirit of the fundamental rights. According to that, there are two articles are there in which the government have to take the steps. So this Article 17. Article 17 states that untouchability has been abolished. That means no one can prevent Dalits from educating themselves, entering temples, using public facilities. Untouchability is punishable crime now. So according to Article 17, untouchability has been abolished. So for giving the respect and for giving the equality, providing the equality to all the people, this untouchability has been abolished. Secondly, Article 15 states that not citizen of the India shall be discriminated against on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. That means all people are equal. No one can be discriminated on the basis of anything, maybe religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. In the same way, Muslims and Parsis, which are minorities, have the right to be guardians of the content of their culture, grant cultural rights. So that means minority groups have drawn on the fundamental rights, particularly the right to freedom of religion as well as cultural and educational rights. By granting different forms of cultural rights, the Constitution tries to ensure cultural justice to such groups and prevent them from being dominated or wiped out by the culture of the majority community. Efforts. Some efforts are also done by some people like Soirabai and Kabi. Soirabai, who was the wife of the Bhakti poet Chakmela, who belonged to Mahar caste from 14th century Maharashtra, she also questioning regarding the idea of purity. That means she want that she think that the who is pure here. When the all humans are born in same manner, Then why the people separate society on the basis of caste? The idea of separation based on caste occurs from within and not naturally. So that means naturally these people are not separated. That is done by the human beings by their own experiences. Kabir ability to reach the highest level of spiritual salvation and deep knowledge within themselves through their own experience. So, Kabir was a 15th century poet and weaver who belonged to the Bhakti tradition, and Kabir attacked those who attempted to define individuals on the basis of their religious and caste identities. In his view, every person had the ability to reach the highest level of spiritual salvation and deep knowledge within themselves through their own experience. His poetry brings out the powerful idea of the equality of all human beings and their labor. He writes about valuing the work of the ordinary porters, the weavers, and the women carrying the water pot, labor that in his poetry becomes the basis of understanding the entire universe. Laws and policies for marginalized. Set up committee. First of all, there are certain laws and policies which are made especially for the marginalized in our country. These policies and schemes emerge through the setting up of a committee or by undertaking a survey. Promote policies. The government makes an effort to promote such policies in order to give opportunities to those specific groups. Promote social justice. The state and central government have implemented several schemes for implementation in tribal areas or in areas with high Dalit population to promote social justice. So, one example is given here free or subsidized hostels for students of Dalits and Adivasi community so that they can avail of education facility. So those people who cannot afford, like the Adivasi and Dalit people, government provide the free and the low rates hostels for the student of Dalits and Adivasi. So then this education can be avail all the students. So laws steps to end inequality. So the government has taken the one step to end the inequality, that is reservation policy. So reservation policy means according to which seats are reserved in education and government employment for Dalits and Adivasis that are based on an important argument. The argument is that in a society like ours, where a section of the population has been denied opportunities to learn and work in order to develop new skills or vocation, a democratic government needs to step in and assist these sections. So those people who has not got the opportunities for getting the education and improving their social status, that people have got this reservation policy. Government has list of ST, SC and OBC creamy layer furnish proof of caste, tribe and certificate. So that means government across India have their own list of SCs. SCs means scheduled caste, means Dalits, or scheduled tribes, STs, and backward and most backward castes. The central government too has its list. That means the government, central government as well as the state government both have this list of SCs and STs. Students applying to educational institutions and those applying for the post in government are expected to furnish proof of their caste or tribe state status in the form of caste and tribe certificate. So those students who are belong to the caste and tribe must have their certificate.